Greetings, YouTube. I realize now that the video I made for this channel, the last one, I apparently never actually posted. So, I'm going to get around to doing that once I take it up. But anyways, this is more of an excess because I've been posting so many videos on the other channel and I still have like 40 more minutes of videos to post that are already more than a week old. So, moving on to this channel for its true purpose. How exciting. So, I'm going to blather about my life and how nice it is now. So, I finished my last paper on Wednesday. Today's Thursday. And I have my last final on Monday. My only final, actually. Which gives me more than sufficient time to study for it. And now is the beginning of me having a life. Ooh, this is exciting. This is very, very exciting. I've had a very busy day. I've engaged in social interaction. Never mind that it was with someone who's visiting me, who's gotten on Facebook in the video. But still, I did that, and I have a long list of things, but I can't remember them all now. But anyways, I just got back from the gym not that long ago, which was really fun, and I had a very productive workout. I discovered that buying a new pair of shoes makes me able to lift quite a bit more weight, or not even quite a bit more weight. I can just do it more easily because I don't have to worry about my feet sliding around weirdly, which is nice. And aside from that, after a slight unexpected encouragement, I finally decided to drag out this dusty thing, which isn't dusty anymore because I cleaned it. But actually, I noticed a weird thing when I checked it out. You can totally see the reflection of what I see on my screen. Anyways, not that cool, but so I started that, and it was kind of nice because I was expecting it to not come back all that well, but the small amount I did learn before came back pretty quickly, aside from my awful cooking skills, which really does seem like it should be that hard, but I can't manage to do it for whatever reason properly. So, that should be fun. I'm gonna go, I've been sort of in the process of trying to find myself a place to get lessons, legitimate ones, because based on past experience, I'm incompetent enough at teaching myself that I will eventually get to a standstill. Probably. At least, I'll have enough money to get myself lessons, and the motivation wouldn't hurt, so maybe I'll just do it. Especially since my timing is awful, so it would be good to have someone correct. A good thing I learned the last time I actually bothered to try was being able to actually tell if it's in tune or not, because previously I couldn't. For those of you who are wondering how this got to be a dusty old thing in my corner, if you'll remember, I kind of started this summer before I went to Germany. When I went to Germany, and of course I wasn't going to drag this thing there with me, because that would have been ridiculous, especially since I couldn't do anything useful with it, and certainly wouldn't accomplish anything while I was there. And I came back and just never really got around to it because I got so used to not doing it, and with how much work my school is, the free time really just wasn't there. So now it will be, so that should be fun. I think the only thing today that I really didn't do that I really liked doing is some art, so I was going to do a bit of drawing later just to correct that, because that was just lovely. Oh, and I could read a book. But I probably shouldn't become quite that nocturnal, because although my exam isn't that early in the day on Monday, it's like 10:30, and it would be in my best interest to at least kind of try to maintain my current sleep schedule so that goes as well as it possibly can. Because well, having silly errors, but it just isn't cool, and I should avoid them because I can. I also have my dishwasher, like yesterday, which is like the most exciting thing. Very exciting. Clean dishes galore. It'll vastly improve my, I don't know, proper dish using abilities. I've never had them before because my mother is like vastly against the idea of having them. Claims it takes just as long to wash the dishes as it does to rinse them in the dishwasher, which is completely false. And I'm kind of, I don't know, obsessive about having clean dishes, kind of like, doesn't really make sense, but I just am against dirty dishes. Like, I used to be completely against using forks, except for ones that I washed, because nobody's ever cleaned the food out of them properly, and it freaks me out. So having them be washed for 2 hours at a time kind of makes me feel better about them. It makes them a lot cleaner. I also found my old journal from while I was in Germany. I lost it. I figured it was in my desk somewhere, but I absolutely could not find it for more than the last 6 months, which I just kind of ignored because it was too traumatizing to really think about. So I found it today, and that was extremely exciting because, what I wrote, like, carried around with me and wrote in as I was doing things, so that should be interesting. I have my videos that I could watch, but it's just much more interesting to have the thing I actually wrote in while I was there, and see how it all progressed. And of course I wrote more in there than I say my videos, because I write prolific amounts of material, because that's just what I do. I've actually been writing a lot lately instead of making YouTube videos about things. I think I've done like at least one written thing every day. Probably more than that because I cross-post, but not exactly, and sometimes I write different things in different places. On Monday, I was introduced to the most delicious sushi combination in existence. It is labeled the Crazy Tuna Roll, and it is indeed crazy. It's very Americanized and not at all authentic, but as an American who loves ridiculous food of this variety, that just makes me like it better because that's what it's supposed to do. So it has clearly tuna in it, cream cheese, avocado, cucumber, also a bit of crab, and then it's deep fried, which really doesn't make it very juicy. I'm not sure how they do it. It doesn't really taste like normal deep fried. Really, the only thing this does that's really good is that it makes it warm, which is good when you're freezing. And then, if that wasn't enough, it comes with this special, like, spicy sauce, which is ridiculously good by itself. So, put all that together, and it's my favorite sushi ever. And I really like sushi. I'm no sushi connoisseur. I just eat things that taste good. I really don't care about their technical merits as long as they taste good. I mean, considering that I eat bowls and bowls of muffin mix and corn soup. I think I subsist almost entirely off of corn soup at times. Which isn't very good because corn doesn't have very much nutritional value at all. Also, an update on my little mouse friend. He's now living in my wall over there, which you probably have no idea of because there's a black hole where I am, but you see flowers underneath where I am. And he's been dragging food underneath the wall. Loudly. Very loudly. It's kind of disturbing, and yet I couldn't resist helping him push some food up the wall because he was dragging things. He was getting trouble. I also broke a glass on my floor today. And I think it was slightly disturbing that my first thought of considering the broken glass was not that I walk around barefoot and will probably injure myself, but that my little mouse friend might injure himself, which is ridiculous because his face is like 3 millimeters from the ground. He's clearly going to see this stuff, and I'm not. So I'm going to be the one slicing myself open shortly, which I'm sure I will end up making a video about sometime in the next week. about how I've injured myself and can't walk. And this will probably happen right before I have to leave for my endocrinology final, conveniently enough. So I'll hobble there with like a bleeding, injured foot or something. These are the types of things I should expect. Oh, in the ice, because it'll snow then, and because I live kind of in the ghetto, they won't salt it, so I'll be sliding along on an icy path with a bleeding, injured foot, and I'll be late because I'm always late. And then I'll show up like an hour late for my